All right, so we've talked about basic things that are like walking and breathing. Thing is, we weren't necessarily designed to play trumpet. So we need to learn these things and we need to put some of that youthful learning energy into it that we would have had when we were young and we learned to walk and things were really easy to learn because we were a child and you just learn better. But we can still be there when we understand the importance of these fundamentals, that everything is just an outgrowth of this stuff. You know, I mean, I haven't talked much about what we can do with the valves yet, but from my perspective, you're basically switching back and forth between 7 different trumpets really fast. And there are some inherent issues to the trumpet because of that. You know, it's not a keyboard up and down, press the buttons. It's 7 different lengths of tubing that you can make the trumpet have by pushing down different valve combinations. So, we've basically learned how to play each of these as just an individual trumpet. What we're going to move on to now is putting them together, covering the full range of the trumpet, and then we will start to be able to move into actual music. So be patient, everybody. Only a little bit more trumpet weightlifting type stuff, trumpet yoga, whatever. And then we can get into the real fun stuff. But this is the most important thing, because if you run out and try to have a lot of fun with the trumpet and you're doing it all wrong, I mean, if you're just bashing your lips with a hammer over and over again every day, you're going to have problems. You're going to have real problems. And trust me, there is nothing more depressing than being like a trumpet player that's been playing for a little while, having some issues and feeling like you can't even do what you do. Trumpet is very difficult. These are very delicate muscles, you know. That's why we need to keep everything happening behind the teeth. That's why we need to keep all the pressure and strain off of the places that it doesn't need to be. No strain in the neck. Open throat, no gulping. Watch out for that. That's a big problem with a lot of people. Like every time they do a lip slur, like, no, it should be like you're breathing the breath of life through the trumpet always. So I want you to go back to the beginning of this and work through it. And then work through it some on your own. And then when you feel like maybe you need a refresher, go back and watch the videos again. Play along with the video. You know, play over my video. Listen to only a few words of the video. But just keep revisiting the stuff we're talking about, because you have to maintain that fundamental core of trumpet technique in order to add all these things around it. You want to be a versatile trumpet player that can play anything. That should always be the goal. You may not end up like that, but for now, at these early stages, there's absolutely no reason to pigeonhole yourself at the technique stages when you're not even forming your musical identity. You know, later if you become a certain kind of musician, then certainly many technical aspects of the trumpet will not apply to you. But for now, we need to think about everything. Developing tone, articulation, eventually range, and trying to do everything properly. Which is not to mean proper as in following some arbitrary guideline that exists out there that has been formulated by human beings with varying opinions over the years, for you to just go out and get, and this is the key, this is the answer. No, the key is the trumpet. Like, think about it. If you wanted to learn how to play the trumpet, the first place to start is the trumpet, because it is what we're trying to learn how to play. You know, we get too excited about what we can do here, but we shouldn't be focusing on us. Even with behind the teeth, we shouldn't even be focusing too much on it. The trumpet is like a mirror. The trumpet holds a fixed position. The trumpet can concentrate better than we can. Okay? So we need to humble ourselves in front of the trumpet. You don't manhandle the trumpet and just wield it like a club, like you're He-Man or something. The trumpet is an amazingly delicate thing. Look up some Bruce Lee YouTube videos. That's what the trumpet is like. That's the kind of discipline it takes to play the trumpet. Playing a really, really loud high note is not the equivalent of squatting 700 pounds. It's the equivalent of one of those crouching tiger, hidden dragon guys floating through the treetops because they've mastered the essence of the basic physical forces of the universe. See, trumpet is a balancing act. It should never feel hard. It should feel disciplined. You will feel free eventually, but only if you become this disciplined core self, core identity that you have as a trumpet player. If you can become that, then nothing can ruin you. See, a lot of people have problems because they go out there and they try this mouthpiece and that horn, they try this book and that book, and they go study with this teacher, and then they go to this teacher. Things are not working, this and that. Well, trust me, in that situation, every time in that situation, the problem is that the student is not putting enough on him or herself. You need to be an explorer that seeks out something new. You know, an explorer doesn't show up empty-handed. An explorer already has an identity, or they wouldn't have gotten to the place where they were going on these expeditions. And when they get to this new place, even though everything is completely new, and they might as well not belong to that environment, they already are something. And that is what you want to be with the trumpet. You want to already have an ingrained sense of what your technique is going to be and the way in which you are going to play the trumpet the easiest and most efficient possible way that you can. You need to get that established in a fundamental way so that everything you do after it adds and builds and never takes away or conflicts with what you've learned as the basic, most important fundamentals of your trumpet playing.